I'm sorry, that was my worst one. Moving on.
Oh, you're getting in trouble, Tetra.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I apologize. I like Kellogg's as we see BTG picking two with the Spider Queen.
All right, King is another good one. Yeah, King could definitely be
King's better.
one that stands forward.
Last Lethal King, yeah, it resets. That's a good one. That'll do.
Man.
Or Laser Lethal King, as he finishes over Disintegrate. There is the Yarel as the ban by SPT first, and there goes Genji.
There goes Genji. Although they were able to triumph over the Genji, I think it's pretty safe to say that it's still such an annoying hero to play against, especially in pro play when you face a Melody C, you know, super fast. And the respect ban, I mean, it's not necessarily a respect ban, but finally a Diablo ban, because they definitely regretted not, you know, taking that guy out, especially with that lyric. And already we see these cool Anubarak counters, right? We were just saying how strong Anubarak is and how, you know, dominant he's looked in HGC China as of late, but already look at BTG countering it like it was the easiest thing in the world.
Reyna and Deckard, standard pickups here for a little bit of empowerment of those ace in the hole shots, assuming that's what we go for. We have seen several exterminators today and over the last few weeks.
That is correct. Anubarak gets locked in again, and Misaka says, you know what, I'm going to try that again. Without Diablo, I don't think we're going to see Leoric necessarily. So yeah, let's see what they can do this time around with all that tank pop and tank bursting. Kind of disabled, but still there's a Rainer. It's still a little greedy to show that Anubarak so early, because they can just pick another ranged attacker now.
But with Anubarak picked up, with Diablo banned, one of the biggest counters to Anubarak is removed. So you've got to wonder what else we could see here. Muradin is also pretty reasonable, although Stormbolt is blockable by Beetles.
Yep.
Personally, I think Johanna doesn't do that well against Anubarak. She can interrupt like some of the CCs, but doesn't actually punish him very well. I'd be looking at more of an ETC or something like that.
Honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but I like Varian against Anubarak. Like, personally, I like him quite a bit. You can lock him down. You can basically prevent him from escaping. Then you can go for Overpower, which is stronger auto attack damage. But Varian is Varian, and it's not very likely.
Yeah, I can see your points, but I prefer heroes who can actually live a fight. So
yeah. I would love to argue with you, but at the moment I can't, because Blizzard finally needs to buff him.
I mean, to be fair, in HGC China, ETC has the same problem.
Yeah.
He does not do survivability very well. But Garrosh is also alive. He could also be a very solid pick, although once again... Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Okay.
Okay.
So SPT have gone back to their roots and have pulled out some weird stuff. Neat.
That has to be a damage variant. I don't see a world in which
Colossus or Twin.
We're going to see a tank variant with taunt. I mean, Deckard Cain doesn't have a cleanse, so that is already kind of cool, but it has to be a damage variant.
I would agree with you. There's a Johanna.
Into this shattering throw?
I mean, I don't think he will shattering throw. I mean, the shield potions, I guess, pretty good. Basically, killing them in one hit's pretty great. But I think the anti-healing is definitely going to be more valuable here.
Both talents have their merits. You can always shut down the Iron Skin of Johanna, which is nothing to be sneezed at.
So here's where I like the fact that you did say Blizzard needs to buff Varian. Varian is picked, and now he's going to lose. Just to prove your point.
Oh man, unless SPT knows something that we don't, I think they got heavily outdrafted. Like, okay, so Asmodean can be really, really powerful on Tomb of Spider Queen, right? He can farm those stacks pretty hard. He can even go for Taste for Blood if he so desires. However, Varian is exceptionally weak in the early game. Before level 4, I mean, even if he goes for DPS.
I mean, Twin Blades is the one that comes online technically earliest, in terms of actual efficiency. Actually, no, Twin Blades is the latest. Taunt comes online immediately because it gives you lockdown for your teammates, but you're not as a tank. They have a tank, so this isn't the worst situation.
And I'm talking obviously about damage variant being weak in the early game. Taunt variant is pretty much fine. Like, you get that lockdown tool super early, but are we really going to see that Windblade? Are we going to see a Colossus Smash for extra damage? Like, you Colossus Smash basketball into them?
Yeah, High King's Quest.
Oh my goodness,
High
they're
King's
actually doing
Quest
it.
coming in
They're
on the
actually
left-hand
doing
side. Playing that variant. It is Lucky, Melody C, Misaka, Soap, and ZZH, and they are SPT.
All right, and facing them is Beyond the Game with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Locktar. They're going to have to face a little bit of cheese here, I want to call it. Where that cheese is tasty or not remains to be seen.
I mean, we're ending up seeing the Wrath coming in here for Asmodam. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of Gluttony, but Wrath has the potential to be better. But the problem is, it has auto attacks and you're against a blind. So that's a thing.
That is correct. That is correct. Of course, sorry about that. Taste for Blood is no longer in there. It is now called Greed. Well, it's not really the same thing anymore, but the closest we can get to it is called Greed. You don't see it here. It's Wrath.
Exactly. No Gluttony, no Greed, only Wrath. As we see the retreat coming in, Misaka gets rooted, and he's dead.
And that is that. Varian surrounded.
Take some stacks.
Get some stacks.
Get a couple of those High Queens.
That is correct.
High Kings auto attacks.
It's usually better, though, to get the stacks for enemy takedowns first, though, because those are a little harder to obtain. But yeah, auto-attacking and, collecting globes will also help him hike a little better.
So High King's Quest, it's very effective for both Colossus Smash and Twin Blades, which is why we have been leading that way. Personally, I prefer the Q build with Colossus Smash because it still gives you crazy burst, but it also gives you better sustain in lane. This one is the only one I actually prefer for Twin Blades. I can still see it being. I still like it with Colossus Smash. It does actually work out as more damage if you go for the consistent charges and consistent pursuits. But it is but of course it is the best one for Twin Blades, so it can lead that way.
Yeah. Also, you have to keep in mind though that there is a blinding hero or a hero that can blind on the enemy team. Dancing just pops the beetle yet again. Misaka, as if his bruises from last game weren't bad enough already. Now
he's having a rough time.
He's having a mighty rough time all day long, basically.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He can go home and drink some cocoa. But for now, the Beetle's having issues. As Locktar moves back into mid lane, continues to soak. Asmo on 43 stacks already. It's 200, I believe, that brings the Wrath online. So already about a quarter of the way there.
Yep, that is definitely going to be a power spike they are looking forward to obtain. Varian gets slowed, gets rooted. Doesn't get popped, though, because Anubrak is already here to save the day. Now, back to the argument about, ability burst damage from Lion's Maw, for example. Hold that thought. Misaka needs to run away. Varian zoned out by that scroll of... he makes it. Okay, good stuff. But yeah, back to the argument. Colossus Smash. There we go. With a manly double grip on that sword hilt, he's trying to wreck his foes and bring glory to the Alliance.
Yeah, as I said, this is technically the most amount of damage you can achieve with a Colossus Smash, even with a fully stacked Lion's Maw. If you fully stack a High King's Quest, then the damage output will still be better. So the Lion's Maw is more of a sustain-based build and a poke-based build, so you don't hard engage every time like that. Even with the silence of Stukov, they don't kill Locktar.
I'm not sure if Blaze can sweat inside that suit, because I'm pretty sure he's sweating all the time, actually, because it's getting pretty warm, I can imagine. But that Varian damage is nothing to scuff at, no matter who it lands on. It looks like Blaze seems to be that target they really want to blow up here with that silence incoming from Stukov. But so far, Decker Kane Man reigns supreme. Good solo target protection, yo.
All right, this will calm down for a second. Could you please finish your thought on the ability damage from the Lion's Maw? Because I want to hear it, because you're more of a variant expert than I am.
So the problem with High King's Quest, as you said, it takes a little while to actually get rolling, especially in pro play where kills are not always guaranteed. I mean, sure, we're playing in HGC China, so maybe scratch that thought. Also, the initial burst damage, as you said, coming in with the Lion's Maw is a little bit greater. It is a little bit stronger, especially when there are blinds and, stuns available and slows, because it doesn't allow you to chase that much to bring in those auto attacks. So with that blind in play, with Johanna in there as well, I personally would have preferred the ability damage, which is a little bit more reliable.
It's understandable. But he's currently gaining even more stacks, but it's once again the takedowns that is going to be the hardest bit. And down goes Varian once again. 3 kills to 1 in favor of BTG. They're going to start to actually turn in a couple gems or be interrupted by Hanzo, which is going to keep happening because Scatter Arrow... No, that was just a normal... That was a Q.
So, Varian doesn't lose any stacks of the High King's Quest, right? When he dies. The problem is when he died, he can farm, and he needs to farm a lot.
Yeah.
Misaka is just not having a good day up to this point here at all. So yeah, he needs to farm. Not only does he need to farm enemy auto attacks on enemy heroes, he needs to farm takedowns on enemy heroes as well. Can't do that while you're dead. He needs to farm regen globes. Can't do that while you're dead. So it's going to take an absurd amount of time for Varian now to even get any bonus damage rolling up to this point. Also, what burst damage is there really after that Colossus Smash? Maybe a globe coming in from a Nubrak, but that's about it, and that's not reliable.
Globe coming in from a Nubrak?
From Asmodan, sorry.
A Nubrak has also gained the power of sin, as we do see. Yeah, Asmodan, he's still building up his stacks, as is Varian, desperately trying to stack up there. BTG move in for a very passive push, actually. That is strange.
Yeah. I mean, we talked a lot about that Varian and made a little bit of fun on him. I still apologize to my baby boy Varian for doing that. But still, you need to respect it. The moment you don't pay attention, the moment you go in too deep, it could always spring back the trap that SPT has been planting. So don't underestimate it, respect it, but don't be overly afraid of it either.
BTG continue to put the pressure onto the top lane. They don't get any forts, but they do get several towers. So they've set up for future pushes, as we see a Nubrak going very deep. A Nubrak gets rooted. Nubrak gets CC'd to death. Zap. Dog,
almost.
not zap. Shield is enough to keep him alive, so not to death. A Nubrak survives this time.
Yeah, he does. Varian, during all of that, was busy farming a couple of regen globes for that High King's quest. In a straight up 1 versus 1, let's see the level 7, he went for the second wind, which is the life gain per auto attack. So I think in a straight up 1 versus 1, he can beat Blaze right now if he doesn't misplay. So that should be fine for him.
Move in. 619 cleans out the minions very quickly with a slight level lead. They are desperately trying to both soak and also pile pressure onto SPT to prevent SPT getting their turn in. The most optimum scenario right now for BTG would be if they can somehow farm enough gems and delay this turn in. Just farm enough gems in the time it takes for them to hit level 10 and time them together. But they're too close to level 10, and there are still 10 gems away from their turn in.
Going in, where's the bunker? Loktar turns around, gets silenced. Couldn't use the bunker. Doesn't even need to, though.
Almost got hit by the Sonic Arrow, but he isn't. Stay a while and listen as down goes the Asmodan, Hanzo, Varian, and let's add Stukov for good measure. Kapow!
Have we mentioned already that BTG is just manhandling the current Chinese champions like that?
Yes, they are. And yes, we have kind of, but that's the first and most elegant, first official and most elegant way of saying it.
This is not looking good. The experience gap grows and grows. On top of that, they lost most of their gems, SPT that is. They still have enough for a potential turn-in. They were diligent enough to actually pay 40 out of 50 beforehand, but that one missing gem is going to be turned in by Decker Kane. Pretty fitting. Hopefully he didn't turn in his Emerald Cube, his Emerald Gem. That would have been a little bit of a mistake.
That would be ironic. If
You
it's
lose
like,
a
don't
talent.
worry, I'll anti-heal them. The spiders come. Oh. Also, the army comes as we're seeing the demonic invasion coming in for the Asmodan. And the Dragon Arrow immediately onto Raider, sundering to try and zone away and give Dancing the chance to escape, which he will. The Wrath attack's not enough damage, and he will get out.
There comes the turnaround. Decker Kane has been freed of the cocoon here. Raynor barely escaping here, actually. Didn't even go for the fight or flight. Still relies on that Behemoth armor, which I personally wouldn't have expected against that Varian Colossus Smash, but he's good for now. Decker Kane was actually put in the cocoon, then they tried to blow up the Raynor, but a life-saving Sundering at this point, I wanted to mention, from LLK on Thrall. Really stalled out the initial engagement from SPT.
Just add another hero to LLK's list of absolute crazy picks. As we see Loktar dropping that bunker. Stay a while for reasons. Can they make anything happen with this? There's a root clutch silence by Stukov. Might actually allow them to disengage here and maybe even get a turnaround play. Here comes the scroll of ceiling and by Misaka.
By Misaka. That's the sad story of the day, unfortunately. Misaka, one of the most veteran, most seasoned tank players that we've got in China, continues to get pummeled quite a bit all day long. Now, we see Wrath getting a little bit of extra damage right now.
We see the boss getting burned down. Loktar pulling back.
Wait, Varian didn't even go for shield wall. He went for Warbringer.
I mean, once again, this is what allows this build to be technically the highest damage, or at least one of the highest damages. Jump in, slows consistently. It gives you consistent charges because of the cooldown reduction, which means you can just be relentless in terms of chasing someone. Like, you'll see just how hard it is for 619 to escape here. Has to bless shield to have any chance of getting away, because Varian with this build is just relentless and sticky.
Like
the
a
problem
he doesn't
is,
let go.
though, he is also quite vulnerable.
Yeah, that's what my concerns were initially, because Varian hasn't really been known to be the most resilient of warriors or heroes in this game, and the Warbringer doesn't really make things any better. And even the Observer is having a little bit of fun here, highlighting Misaka as he falls yet again. Ay.
Gonna see that Webweaver getting taken down. BTG cleans that up before it even makes it to forts. Mid lane is the only one left. Top lane is still there too, but that one spawned in the base because of how far the lane was pushed. And BTG, I would be surprised if they don't take any tower damage. This one's attacking a gate. If they kill that quick enough, then they won't take any.
Lost the gate, ruined
Tetcher. Come out. They move forward, and down goes Stukov.
Down goes Stukov. Don't wake him up just yet. The Bless Shield actually follows him all over the fort. Now they're a man down, the support down, but does that stop SPT from engaging? It doesn't stop Misaka. He falls again. And as we have a little bit of a lag spike here, do you have one as well?
I am fine.
Okay, then you take over for a bit.
Okay, as we see them pushing in. I am on 6.8, by the way, for when you get back into this. Blaze cleans up the top. Webweaver nice. And BTG on dominant position. You're on 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will pause down to you because that's basically a full second.
I probably spike a little higher though, so if you could stop it somewhere in the middle, like 6.5, 6.4, that would be brilliant. Sorry about that, guys. First hiccup of that clean feat. Strong damage coming in.
6-2 is probably pretty decent. Dragon Arrow, where's that Asmo Slam? There it is, as they finally pick up a kill onto BTG. However, LLK gives chase and is like, you don't kill us, we kill you. We're rich cosplayers.
Zappy boy!
As they chase him down. Melody C! Where is the Zappy?
No, LLK
Where is the Zappy? LLK's getting outplayed.
Oh, nice. Asmo, I mean, he's a big boy, but even he can hide in the shadows, it seems. And Varian did go for Shattering Throw, which means no Iron Skin for Johanna. And SPT is starting to make at least the first tiny baby steps of a comeback.
They're still 2 levels behind, but it's something as they move on to the enemy Bruiser camp. Blaze is still soaking top lane. Raiders back. The deaths are quite staggered here, so BTG will not be full force for a while here. So SPT should probably just push straight in. Take this camp and push in with it in mid.
Oh, Rainer, dancing,
no, bad plan. There's a beetle there. You should have seen that. That was not paying attention there. That was risky.
Yeah, the moment he saw that mercenary camp on the minimap being taken over, he was like, oh, nope. I definitely want to turn around there.
Yeah, but he should have seen that beetle way earlier. He should have been paying attention to where he was. As we see SPT moving in, LLK clears that up, and with that, everyone is now alive.
Okay, so Varian did collect a couple of stacks here for his Hiking's quest with those takedowns that he got. I'm pretty sure he's still not on maximum stacks, though, so he's still not hitting as hard as he can. But when time goes by, you know, if they get a couple more team fights like that, they could certainly make that a reality. Now, massive shoves are an important tool as well. 300 stacks on Asmo, starting to hit hard. 2 out of 3 stacks already acquired for Varian. I wonder if the takedown one or the regeneration globe one.
It's got to be takedown, because takedown's 5 takedowns, and he was dead for at least one of them.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let's see. You need 5 hero takedowns. You're correct.
Yeah. Nicely done. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Observer. He's on 4 out of 5. So, yeah, I think I got that one perfectly.
Did the Chinese production team install some cameras in my room or some microphones? I'm actually scared right now because they read our thoughts like an open book.
Potentially so. As we see a trap Varian. It was a bait. He runs away. He doesn't want to be here. He can dash to his allies with this talent, remember, but he's dead.
He is dead. He falls too quickly. He even lost max HP there with the choice of Colossus Smash. It lowers your max HP by 10%. And as such, you're already a squish cake. That doesn't make things any better without shield wall.
And they move forward. BTG just deletes the towers on this in this mid lane. Mid lane's an interesting lane to push, but I guess it's fine. It certainly opens up the map a little bit more for them. and it is the Bruiser lane. All of these lanes have mercenaries.
Yep.
Top is usually, of course, the appealing one, because that's where the boss is.
Looks like they do not want to make that last call yet, though, because they realize, you know what, with Asmodan and Hanzo, they've got some pretty decent wave clear. They've got some pretty nasty long-distance poke here as well, and BTG, they're not done pushing yet, but they put that on a hold up to this point. 21 gems, by the way, for SPT, 32 for BTG. They could pay the red team. SPT can't.
18 to 16, even talents. With, once again, as you said, BTG, the potential to turn in, and they're all just hovering around bot. SPT are doing nothing to stop them turning in right now if they tried to.
But of course, they don't have the vision, right? So they are expecting some shenanigans coming down from SPT. I'm pretty sure they did not know that they were completely free to pay, as you said.
And as such, 619 gets interrupted. Nice little long pitch coming in there from Stokov, which is the build he went for.
Yeah, keep in mind, shield shattering throw from Varian. Even a Johanna could be a worthwhile focused target if Varian at least leads the charge to throw down those shields. Okay. Yeah, look at that poke and interrupts, man. It's crazy.
So many. It's so cool, but the longer they do this, the worse it is.
In the bottom.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. If they can keep this up in a 4v5 without dying, then this is great. If they can't, then they're just letting BTG get 20.
Oh, that long distance interrupt by ZZH, man. Thrall almost had it. But BTG can fight, can turn in like that. Jana in the cocoon.
Blaze tanking through it, making the use of the Pyromania as they rush forward, looking for Varian once again. Varian wants to be on the aggressive. Good dash to his allies there as Nocturne charges forward, but Johanna is not here, sundering, and Varian goes down. Bunker drops for good measure, and Noob, please, will he actually be able to escape? Who knows? As we see Asmodan going down too.
All right, BTG, please finish the job. Go through the middle and grab yourselves that keep. It's there for the taking. What are they doing?
One. Can Misaka escape? Yes, he can.
Okay, it looks like BTG
they're gonna get the boss.
Is trying to set up the ultimate push, going for the boss first and then turning in the gems with Web Weavers, but I still
they'll get 20 from that. If they do that, then they will have a boss, a turn-in, and they'll get the keep, and that will give them 20, and that will be the death push.
Okay. You convinced me, Tetcher. It is the ultimate safe way of winning the game. I agree.
Oh, yes.
So we should be fine.
It will be 5v5, though, which is where the risk comes in. Yeah. Perfect timing on the turn-in, where Weaver should arrive at about the time the boss should reach core. They're even going to soak mid lane to guarantee that 20. That is a cheeky move. I like that. But everyone needs to get up to top lane. They all need to be here for this. Webweaver's on the way. Like we said, Webweaver should arrive shortly after the boss gets to keep. Looks like they were slightly mistimed. Could have turned in a tiny bit earlier.
Yeah, Varian trying to weaken that boss here a little bit with his Colossus Smash, lowering the armor of the boss by 25 for a few moments here. It's not going to be enough, I think, to really stop this. The wave clear is good with Hanzo and Osmo. Is it going to be good enough to keep them at bay here?
Webweaver brings its web children. I don't know what they're called as it moves in spiderlings or whatever. Asmo finishes the Globe of Annihilation straight up. Boss on half health. Webweaver basically full. So they march forward. Bless Shield, sundering charge, but Anubarak looking for the save with Hanzo down. Okay, as we see an absolute massacre coming in. BTG take the 2-0. And with that, they guarantee that they are first seed moving into the playoffs, as they are now uncatchable, even by the one.
Absolutely amazing performance here by Beyond the Game. True, that was not the most serious, most competitive draft that we've ever seen from SPT, but still, BTG, we doubted them a little bit, but they are now uncatchable, as you said, and they are looking. Go for it. Go for it.
Wrong. I did the maths wrong. They are one. The only way that the one can catch them is if the one wins both games 2-0 and BTG doesn't take a single map off of Team Nut. Like, currently they're on 28. Currently, Beyond the Game are on 28. The one are on 23, and the one can gain a maximum of 6 points, which means 29. So
BTG is now 99.999% uncatchable.
Basically, if Beyond the Game can't take a single map off of Team Nut, then they have a chance of being caught. But we'll find that out if even the one can take 2-0s versus KT in the A team. That's the only team who can now catch Beyond the Game.
The only scenario in which I could imagine BTG drop a map to Team Nut would be if they were just trolling and they were not taking it seriously anymore and they were just experimenting with some wonky SPT comms. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's safe to say that BTG will go to BlizzCon, which is such a big deal. They looked really good there today. I think they had some amazing games against the One and SPT, most importantly. Struggled a little bit against the One here, only got a draw out of it, but still, I think they have redeemed themselves at least a little bit, I think.
They're certainly playing not as good as they did at the start of the season, better than they did in the middle of the season. This third week is definitely beyond the game, slowly returning to form. They need one single point to secure at minimum a tie. That's all they need. But right now, like you said, whoever ends the season in that first seed, doesn't matter what happens in the playoffs, they are going to BlizzCon. And right now, beyond the game are 99% secure in that position. The only team that can scupper them now is the One, and that relies on the power of the nuts.
It's like I mean, they took a map of them in the game number 1.
They did. This is true. In the first rotation, it could happen.
Team Nut
could play Ruiner here. But after that, it's all about seeding it. The One are still in a pretty solid position, because right now, they play twice tomorrow. SPT, they play once tomorrow, and SPT are already behind the One. So that means the One will have to almost certainly play one less game than SPT. And after that, it's all about whether CE can overtake SPT, for example, whether RPG can use their double games tomorrow and play a cheeky catch-up to CE and put themselves in a nice safe position, or fail that, if the A team can play upset to the One and upset to RPG by stealing away some points there.
All right. After Tetcher showing us a couple of potential scenarios of what could happen tomorrow and in the playoffs, it's time to show you guys the statistics here for this final game of this long Chinathon, we called it. 20 kills on the side of BTG against 5. 0 structures, unfortunately, for SPT with that very interesting experimental draft.
Yeah, and I think the one thing we have learned from this is that Varian is OP and the Blizzard should nerf him. As we do see LLK getting the MVP there. Fantastic Sunderings, fantastic engages in general. The life-saving Sunderings in some cases, and LLK just proves that no matter what hero you put him on, he will win you games.
Yeah, LLK, I mean, if I had to pick one MVP of the entire play day today in all 7 series, I think it would be LLK. Like, the amount of Li Ming kills, in his versatility as well, right? He plays it all. He plays the main tank if his team requires him to be that. If 619 wants to hop on the Zarya, he plays melee flex like that Thrall here today. Alarak is to be mentioned as well, and he plays a really solid ranged assassin.
I mean, if I had to choose, I think that LLK is the best player in HGC China right now. Individual player, I think he is absolutely the best.
I wouldn't disagree. I mean, there's still outstanding players like, you know, Meng on the side of the One, for example, like mechanically super good players. Obviously, Hugo, we saw as Illidan today, you know, a little bit of its former glory there. But overall, in terms of, you know, versatility, accomplishment, precision, execution, LLK is the best player in China. I do not disagree.
I mean, I'm just currently looking through his freaking hero pool, and it's just absurd. Almost every hero he has played, he has an above 50% win rate on. The only exceptions are Maiev, who's on 44.4, so close to 50%. Dahaka, Malthael, Li Ming, surprisingly, Illidan, Valera, and Muradin.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at LLK's team beyond the game here, sitting at the lonely pole position, 28 points to 23. The One, they're in the like they're pursuing them, but not even close. They're still the chance of them maybe doing it, but it all comes down to Team Nut tomorrow, who play 2 series. Once again, we have the same schedule, guys. We start at the exact same time as today. 2 series by Team Nut, and I think BTG only has 1, as you said, right?
Correct.
Yep. There we go. There it is. Second to last.
Just against Team Nut. And then, of course, we end the entirety of HGC China group phase pre the playoffs with El Clasico. Once again, SPT versus CE. I don't think it would be HGC China if we didn't end with that. I'm pretty sure they plan it at this point.
I think so too. You know, give us those nostalgia moments since early 2017 when Tetra and I took over. So couldn't be happier with tomorrow's schedule. You guys should definitely make sure to tune back in. It's been a long day, and it's going to be a long day tomorrow. That's great for you if you like Heroes Esports. Feel free to follow Tetra and myself on Twitter as well. You can see our tags down there. Share your best moments, your favorite clips, whatever comes to your mind. And the final words go over to Tetra before we say goodbye, and we say hello again tomorrow.
Once again, thank you all very much for watching. Remember, as Kendrick said, we do start at the earlier time of 7:15 UK time, 8:15 Central European time, as we will be having that extra series stuck in there. It is the final day of group stage tomorrow. Do not miss it. Follow this channel. Be sure to follow me and Kendrick wherever we are. Remember, it is September, so be sure to follow us and make use of that upgraded gift sub emote, and maybe get upgraded gift sub system for $1, and maybe even give some subs to your friends as well.
Good thing to do. Make them happy, make us happy, make Heroes happy. We'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for watching.